Hello people of the internet, my name is Vaatia. And today for this video, I just wanted to bring up a little topic that I think would be really interesting to discuss my opinion on and to kind of see what you guys might think about it, and what's your point of view. So what in the world am I talking about anyway? Well, I am talking about facing the conflict about your artwork, whether it be from any form of art, writing, story elements, character design, etc., and comparing the similarities of your work to other artists' work. You notice any consistencies with. That's a big ass word. Have you ever had an OC that you valued more than anything? Maybe they were the best character in your story with the coolest traits or powers or whatever. Or maybe they were that one character that was gonna bring in all the hearts and MySpace likes because they were so darn cool. But then, one day, one cruel, fateful day, you turn on the TV. Or your iPhone. I don't know what kids are using these days, but you turn it on only to see a show you really love playing. Now I know that doesn't seem all that bad right now, but then as you're watching this show, the more and more you watch it, the more and more you start to think to yourself,
wait a minute!
Have I seen that character before? Soon, you start to look at that character in question more deeply, comparing the character's traits, interests, disinterests, etc., comparing it all to this other character, trying to see if they're too much alike. Hell, maybe it's not even a character in some cases. Sometimes it can be your very own story that's too similar to something else. Imagine finding a show you like, only to discover it's basically your idea but much better. Nonetheless to say, it's a terrible feeling finding out your work is very similar to another artist/author. And it's not even like when you get caught in this situation, you'll be automatically labeled as some copycat or art thief. Well, maybe you will by the maybe you will by the crazies who get triggered by air touching them. But this is something that happens to everyone. And it's likely you had your great idea about a bean running around and kicking other beans' asses for an hour and a half long before this other guy was around. So what? My character is too similar to another person's OC. My character is still different and going through a completely different situation. Oh, well, what's your character's story like then? Well, it's the story of a human alien mutant kid from outer space living out his many zany adventures on Earth, who also doesn't know their alien origins because of their secret alien family. And get this, the kid's father was the leader of this rebellion alien group passed down for the kid to lead because his dad sacrificed himself to let the kid live. Okay. But this giant evil alien empire, led by the 3 giant evil alien dictators, are coming for Earth to destroy it and avenge their fallen brother that died from the hands of the kid's father in the Great Space War. But it's not a copy of Steven Universe, though. Right, I think we're done here. You see what I mean? When your story or your character is too similar to another, it just makes you feel like you've seen this before. I know, it's hard to be honest with ourselves and admit that our characters need change. Because honestly, it's hard to change our precious little babies after they've been that way for so long. Besides, they wouldn't be our babies if they changed character every day after all. But sometimes, biting the bullet and fixing up your character is just the best way to go. Besides, you don't want your work to only be remembered as just another copycat trying to catch on the hottest trend, when your character or your story could potentially have other values or unique attributes in their design that people want to see. Yes! So if you're feeling like poop after all this, just know you're not alone. Aww. I know I've had my fair share of shitty characters that were just complete rip-off of stuff I used to love. For example, I used to have this one character who was, and is still to this day, the main antagonist of my fantasy adventure series, One Big Fantasy. I'll try to look around for the picture for you guys. Anyways, this is what she looks like, and does this character look familiar to you? If not, it's okay. Most people are functional beings that don't spend all their time watching anime. My character was a full-blown rip on the character Mira Jane from Fairy Tail. A show I used to watch a lot as a kid, but somehow never got past the first season. She had all the same things Mira Jane had, all the way from the cutesy summer dress to the little weird shit she did to her hair. There was no way around it. Little me was a little art thief savage. And the worst part is that I didn't even realize that my character was basically this other character's long-lost sister until a couple years later. Don't you dare laugh at me. I'm slow at these kind of things, okay? So, stuck in between the conflict of having to change my precious character or to stick with people telling me for the rest of my life my OC is trash. I'm just kidding. I'm sure that wouldn't happen to you. I really didn't want to change my character. I loved how she looked, especially the hair, but I knew it was for the better of the franchise. A few minor changes later, and then boom, she was a completely different person. She was someone that I grew to like more, and she evolved into something that was much more intriguing and much more better than my original idea of her would ever be. It wasn't easy to make the change, and new ideas aren't always easy to come by, I'll tell you that, but in the end, I really do appreciate the final product. Without my main antagonist making the change, the whole story would be in a completely different place. One that I'm not entirely sure would be a good one. In fact, it's hard to imagine a world with her not being the bratty know-it-all demon goddess she is today. That being said, I don't want people to take this the wrong way and say that I'm discouraging people from making things they like just because it's too identical to something else. Like, I'm not white knighting every single story ever to exist. I'm just trying to make a point here, you know? If you feel like people will get on you for having a story that relates way too much to something else, then I think it's about time to head back to the drawing boards. But even though it's possible to be too identical to another person's work, it's also possible to be taking your paranoia way too far. There is such a thing as overstressing yourself on the small stuff. There's gonna have to be some things that you'll just have to let go. You might be thinking now that your character has to be the most original and perfect thing no one's ever seen before, but that's just not gonna be possible. It's widely theorized that there are only 7 basic plots in writing that all stories follow. Only 7. 7 out of the how many countless narratives out there? So please, take this advice with a grain of salt, because not everything is complete plagiarism. I still deal with this problem to this day. In fact, I considered changing my main character's last name just because it was the same as another cartoon character. You ever have a moment where you're watching a TV show and the character does something or something happens, and you're like, darn, I wish I would have done that in my show, or darn, I was gonna do that. It really sucks because I love and hate the shows for that same reason, that they're doing the same thing I wanted to do. I'd say your character has a good chance at being the best they can be and unique if they're designed to fit in the world they're made in and fit in with the other characters and story you're trying to tell your audience about. And not just because you like the design of them or because they reminded you of another character from a TV show you really liked. Knowing the scale of how similar a character is to one another will be the key to making an original and unique character. It's important to stay creative, but don't stress out being too creative at the same time. You know what I mean? But anyways, that's all I have for right now. Thank you guys so much for watching until the end. I had no idea what I was gonna make this week, you guys. I was so close to uploading a shitpost video about Steve Harvey. You guys don't even know. Anyways, I'll get back to work now, I guess. This is an art channel still, I swear. I'm making a lot of progress on the production of One Big Fantasy, which is very exciting. so much progress that I'm thinking of releasing a casting call audition for the prologue very soon. So, voice actors, keep your eyes peeled and fingers crossed. Tell me your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Like I said, I really want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. Any conversation would be nice though. Be sure to like the video and subscribe for 10 years of bad luck. Follow my social medias linked down in the description below. I'm behind on my project, so I can't promise I'll see you guys next week, but I'll see you guys real soon. Bye!